Hi, this is William Ford, and welcome back to AMC Presents. Today I'm announcing a new AMC Data Labs analytic paper titled From Story to Score: How Film Music is Created. The complete paper is available at atlantamusiccritic.net, but in this video I'd like to share some of its most interesting findings. Film music is increasingly appearing in concert halls alongside Beethoven, Mahler, and Stravinsky. Yet the process by which a modern film score is created differs dramatically from the image of a composer working alone at a piano or desk. Drawing on interviews with 7 composers, orchestrators, arrangers, and conductors, this study traces the journey from a director's initial idea to the finished score heard in films, television programs, and video games. What I discovered was a creative process that is far more collaborative and far more complex than many listeners realize. Let's begin with Phase 1: Story and Creative Decisions. The first surprise is that the process does not begin with music. It begins with a story. Composer Winfield Carson described receiving a completed film and discussing with the director what emotional world the music should inhabit. Tree Adams made a similar point. In film, the composer's job is not primarily self-expression. The music exists to serve the story. Once those goals are established, composers create what are known as mockups, realistic demonstrations of what the score might sound like using virtual instruments and sample libraries. These mockups have become incredibly sophisticated. In many cases, directors hear a convincing version of the score long before a single musician enters a recording studio. 2 additional ideas emerge during this stage. The first is what Kevin MacLeod calls music in service of picture. Film music must do more than sound good. It must support pacing, reinforce emotion, guide audience attention, and work in partnership with dialogue and visuals. The second is the influence of temp tracks. Directors often edit films using existing music to establish mood and pacing. Over time, those temporary choices can shape expectations for the final score, creating an additional challenge for composers. Phase 2: Building the score. The second phase centers on a profession many listeners know little about: the orchestrator. Lorenzo Carano offered perhaps the clearest explanation. He compares the relationship between composer and orchestrator to that of a fashion designer and a tailor. The composer creates the design. The orchestrator figures out how to make it work in the real world. Contrary to popular assumptions, orchestration is not simply assigning notes to instruments. The orchestrator studies the mock-up, analyzes the music, solves practical problems, prepares the full score, and creates parts for the musicians. This work takes place under significant constraints. Budgets matter. Player availability matters. Union rules matter. Recording time matters. Film music is art operating inside an industrial environment. As Carano repeatedly emphasized, one of the orchestrator's most important jobs is ensuring that the music can be recorded efficiently and successfully under real-world conditions. Phase 3: Recording, Editing, and Delivery. The final phase brings everyone together: the composer, the orchestrator, the conductor, the musicians, the engineers, the producers. Conductor Lucas Richmond described recording sessions as highly focused environments where every minute has financial consequences. While the orchestra performs, the composer often remains in the control room, evaluating how the music interacts with the picture. Meanwhile, the orchestrator frequently serves as a musical producer and troubleshooter, helping solve problems in real time. But recording is not the end of the process. Matthew Sheeran emphasized that editing may be one of the most creative stages of all. Engineers and composers review multiple takes, select the strongest performances, assemble the final version, and prepare the music for delivery. Only then is the score integrated into the final mix alongside dialogue, sound effects, and ambience. What I found most surprising is how different this process is from the traditional image of a solitary composer, A modern film score emerges from a collaborative ecosystem involving directors, composers, orchestrators, arrangers, conductors, engineers, editors, and musicians. Each contributes a piece of the puzzle. Yet despite these differences, the goal remains remarkably similar to that of Beethoven, Brahms, or Mahler: to use music to communicate emotion, illuminate ideas, and deepen the audience's experience. The path may be different. The power of the music remains the same. Thanks for watching.